How are you, Jai'Len Josey? Welcome to the show, Sports Hip Hop with DJ Mad Max, Light 365, iHeartRadio. We have the one and only Jai'Len Josey joining me here on the show here tonight. The Southern Delicacy is available on all platforms. Make sure you go download it. Most of all, you got to support the artist. But Jai'Len, how are you feeling? How's your night going?
I'm well, and you? How about you?
I'm doing pretty well. Congratulations on the new album. How are you feeling about it? Because it's been a minute since Illustrations, the EP. This is the extension now.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I'm actually very blessed. It's been received very well. So,
Yeah.
only up from here.
Pay for My Drink, Good Soup, Willie's Interlude. I think that was a real important record on this album, is that you were writing as a tribute to your grandfather, I heard.
Yeah. He passed last
My
year. So,
condolences.
no, thank you so much. It's okay. But I needed to celebrate him in the only way that I really knew how, and that was through song.
Mhm. And that's important. Besides Willie's Interlude, what's the next song in line that means the most to you on this album?
Besides Willie's interlude, I would say Take Me Higher. I
Take Me
love
Higher.
that record so much. I feel like that's the one song, well, it's the fastest tempo, and it's the one song that like alludes to the next set of music that I'm gonna release.
Mhm. Oh, so you're already working on the next stuff right away now.
I
You don't
sure am.
stop.
Yes, I am.
Did COVID affect you? I mean, we're still going through it, but did that slow you down in any way? Because when that happened, I know that kind of just showed if you really have the hustle, you have the hustle. Did that keep you
Yeah.
going?
Yeah, so right when I got off of Broadway, COVID hit, and I was here in Georgia, and you're by yourself, you're eating and whatnot, and I'm just like, goodness, I don't really want to stop. I don't think I sat down during COVID, which is not good, but I was working during COVID. Of course, like stuff started to shut down, so it really like put a halt in it like a little bit, but like I was still writing and I was still like making music like throughout the whole like pandemic. That was when Illustrations was being made.
Mhm. In Illustrations, you were writing this while you were on Broadway, and it was basically you focusing on the songs that were in the play, and especially just the live music as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in the pit, the orchestra pit while I was on Broadway, just listening to them play like live instruments, horns and trumpets. And I was just down there. I was like, I gotta find a way to put that in my own music. And I took that and came back to Georgia and put that throughout the whole first EP.
Mhm. Going to New York, how did it feel being from Atlanta and taking over the city?
I was like 17, 18, 19, 18, 19. I was pretty young, and I was by myself. Um it was pretty stressful, I will say, getting acclimated, because in the South, like everybody's nice. The northern people are nice as well, but like I definitely look stupid a couple times holding the door open for a couple people and them just walking through, and I'm sitting there expecting them to be like, oh, thank you, because I'm from the South, and they just walk straight on through like they was entitled to it. But I love northern people, and they taught me how to walk fast. So New York was like, okay, like it made me like switch that I can't always be nice. Like I need a public appearance, and like so I can be straightforward with people and not be passive, but I also need to like, get straight to the point. And that's definitely what New York taught me. I love New York, but then again, it's like I don't think I would live there, but
Yeah, no, it's chaotic.
yeah,
Especially the transportation system with the Metro North and the underground subways and trains.
never got it.
Yeah, no, I went. I'm from Connecticut, and I went to school there for 4 years, and it's a nightmare still to this day. So trust me,
Wow.
I couldn't even imagine being from Atlanta and then come. It's like a complete culture shock.
Yeah, it's a complete culture shock. And plus it's like always hot here. I mean, global warming, climate, all that other stuff has been changing it,
Yeah.
because it was cold this winter. I was like, goodness gracious, this is new. But when it's hot, it's really hot. But New York has a different kind of heat. It's like it's the heat where the sun is beaming off the buildings, and so now it's beaming onto the people. And so that's that heat where it's like, I don't know if I should really be outside right now, because a sunburn is bound to happen. But Atlanta, sometimes you get a little breeze, sometimes you don't get a little breeze. It depends on what you really like or what you really are acclimated to.
Exactly. But I do want to get into your Broadway work because you were in SpongeBob SquarePants, the musical, Pearl Krabs. Tell me how you got this role.
So there was an intensive called Broadway Dreams, and I was very young. I was actually about to go back to college.
Wow.
It was summer, I did my first semester, and then I did an intensive during the summer, and Annette Tanner brought Tom Kitt, who was the music director of SpongeBob SquarePants, brought him to one of the workshops, and she allowed some of the kids to sing, and she asked me to sing, and so I sang technically an audition right there on the spot. And then before I was leaving for New York to go back to Georgia, because I still had to get ready for school, like I still had to go pack, get my stuff, together so I can go on back to Ohio. And I got a call that they wanted me to audition. I auditioned.
Mhm.
Well, before I even left, but I didn't even get back to Atlanta. Before I left, like I was on my way to the airport. They asked me to audition, so I had to go to audition. I did the audition before I left, and then I came back to Georgia. And I was awaiting the call. Like 3 days later, I believe that I got the role. It was really quick like that. It was a blessing in disguise, honestly.
No, congratulations. That's major for your career. Did you go back and revisit the cartoon to get acclimated with the character?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. We were able to meet the original voice actors, and
Wow.
it was really fun. We got to be immersed in it. I really felt like I was underwater. Like the set design was beautiful. It was a lot of things that went into preparing for the role, and a lot of weeks of rehearsal and whatnot. But it was actually a very fun time. I think that I was very blessed to be so young and to experience that.
I heard about, we're going to get into what you learned about while being on Broadway, but what would you say was the moment you think that prepared you for the bright lights of Broadway?
Oh my gosh, the moment that
Yeah, prior.
it's crazy. You never really know.
Yeah.
Like beautiful blessings just fall in your lap at any point in time, at any given time. So you just have to be ready for it when it happens. But like I know that the first night, the opening night when we, were on stage and it just hit and all those seats were filled, I knew that I was like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be, regardless if it's on Broadway or if I'm doing music. I'm supposed to be on a stage. I'm supposed to be performing. I know opening night was the night where I was like, where it just switched for me. It was like, oh yeah, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. So it's hard to say like beforehand, like what's the thing, but like when it falls into your lap, it falls into your lap, and you just have to be prepared from then on.
And we see what you were able to do with that role and just the success that you had because you were able to learn stage presence there and learning how to go further, even just interacting with people and connect with people through the headphones. You had to learn how you connect with the people in the actual audience through just stage presence.
Yeah, like I just got off of a tour with Ari Lennox, and I could tell that the things that I learned from Broadway were just carried over. And I could tell that, the way that I connected with the Broadway audience was definitely going to be different, but the aspect of live performances were one and the same. It's you have to captivate people, and learning that from Broadway and bring that over. It was like it was a blessing. It wasn't easy, but it felt easy, and I got into it the way that I was supposed to get into it. But like I can definitely like say that Broadway helped my performance when I was on tour, and performing day in and day in and day out, in front of many faces and many people. You have to know how to captivate an audience, and I'm so thankful for Broadway for that.
And especially when you're on Broadway, you can't make mistakes. I've heard.
You cannot make
Yeah.
mistakes.
This isn't a movie set where you get like 30 takes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On
Um,
Broadway is that one show, and of course you get 8 shows a week to actually get it right, I guess in your case. But like once you're on that stage, you're on that stage.
did you see any big celebrities come through with their families at all while you were performing? Did you see anyone? Did you notice anyone or hear if someone was there?
Whoopi Goldberg.
Wow. Yeah, that's huge.
Oh my gosh, it was so long ago. Whoopi Goldberg. Of course, Tom Kenny, who's the original voice of
Yeah.
SpongeBob. There are so many other big people who came in. I just cannot think of them right now. Plain White Tees, Yolanda Adams. But these are all the people who actually were in the show. But these
Yeah.
are also people that actually came to see the show. Ti.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have the Atlanta connection right there.
Yeah. And many other people. I just cannot think of it. It was so long ago.
Wow. That's crazy, especially with you being on tour and with Ari Lennox. I did hear about that. Congratulations. But
Thank you.
you learn from just working with her as well, just not to let outside things get to you while you're on stage. So what's your process of blocking out everything? Because we all go through real life issues, and you always want to exceed what you did before. So what's your method and process of just going forward and blocking out the noise?
So I'm 24, and I, being a woman, and being a Black girl, it's a lot of stuff goes on in your life, and a lot of stuff goes on in everybody's life. But I'm trying to get into this industry. I'm trying to get seen for more than just just a writer. I'm also signed to Sony as a writer, so I'm trying to get seen as more than just the things that I can give people. And right now I'm learning how to block out the noise with hobbies. I don't want to say that I'm a clingy person, but I love the people who love me, and I'm an only child, so it's like
Okay.
I'm learning how to be alone in this instance, and pick up things that make me happy other than just music, because I'm surrounded by music all day, every day. Like, one thing that helps me get past, like the anxiety and the nervousness that, sometimes music brings. I'm trying to be a little photographer for myself. So
Okay, yeah. So you're
I
venturing
got
different
a
stuff.
camera. Yeah. So just hobbies, like distracting myself with tangible things that make me not want to be surrounded all the time with my friends, because I could be under my people all day if it was up to me. I really could. But knowing that, it's something about being alone and giving people space and learning that for yourself. And I'm learning self-care and therapy. It's so many things that I'm trying to learn right now, being 24. And it's crazy. Like, I don't know everything. Nobody knows everything, but like mental health and self-help, that's one thing that I'm like really trying to hone in on and really learn. Like, I'm trying to teach it to my grandparents. My grandma is 83 now, 82,
Wow.
and my grandfather just passed. So like, I'm trying to teach her how to be one by herself when her life has just, her lover is gone, and that's somebody that she's been with all her life. So that's the big theme right now for me, is like, being independent in my own heart, and picking up things so I can just depend on myself. And I'm trying to help my granny and be by her. And I can rant about that all day. You hit
Yeah.
the hammer on the nail with that. But like, no, yeah, I'm just learning how to help myself in this moment. And performing also was a thing that, like, you know mentally took me away from the outer experiences that were going on. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on social media and what that plays? Because I think that's leading to the major downfall in the world today, especially with the whole blue check nonsense that's been going on. Social media is in the worst place, especially who owns Twitter now. I think he's a disgrace as well. But when
Yeah,
you really look at, do you think that social media is a big factor in people's mental health declining?
I do. I really do, because nobody's showing their failures.
Yeah.
Nobody's showing their failures. And I for one have caught myself looking over the fence and looking at other people's, grasses, and seeing how green they are and what kind of fertilizer they use, as opposed to, just tending to the flowers that I've already grown. And I'm knowing that I'm seeing that Instagram is you gotta, social media, you gotta just unplug. And I for one have, you know, I'm thankful that I have a manager that will, continue to keep my Instagram live, so that when I take these days off, and, these weeks off, from social media, that, it can keep my people engaged while I'm not even there, honestly. And I do that for myself, because it's like, I know where I should be and I know where I can be, but I'm learning patience, and I'm learning that you don't know how long how long it took for these people to grow their flowers in that time. And I'm learning that, it's taking me a long time to grow my flowers as well. But like somebody is probably looking at me like, dang, I want to be in that spot. And I'm looking at somebody else. And it's just this like whole cycle. Social media does not help that at all.
No.
So, I do my own due diligence of like taking time to just not be on it. It's so hard for me to put down TikTok though. I love TikTok. I love TikTok so much. I remember even last night, like I'll catch myself looking at the time being like, dang, it is 2 a.m. I need to go to bed.
And you just go through hours and hours and you're just like 3 hours have passed by and I'm still on this.
Yes, that is the one app where it's like I could just, because people are funny. It reminds me of Vine so much.
Vine, that's such a throwback. I remember Vine.
It just reminds me of it so much. So I could be on TikTok all day. I love TikTok. But Instagram is like your resume, and Twitter is like your non-professional resume.
Yeah, you just rant about different stuff. It's real toxic onto just people going at each other in the comments. I just can't.
I love my mama to death, but I gotta out her right quick. My mom will any political view. She is right there to she's a warrior. She's typing it. And I'm like, I'm so thankful that she doesn't really disclose her information, and it's a private Twitter, so she's just like responding and nobody knows or whatever. But like, and then now and I actually have learned something from my mom. My mom says she'll be like, if I really want to rant and somebody's talking crazy to me and I'm on Twitter, like she'll type it out and then she'll put it in the drafts. She won't even send it.
Yeah,
so I think I'm gonna start doing that too. Yeah, there'll be some people who be trying me.
Yeah, get a burner so people won't know who you are.
Get a burner. That is the topic of the day. Get a burner account.
I think the most important thing that relates to everything with social media, because it becomes a mental game where you're looking at the next person. I think you got to look at J. Cole's song, for instance, Love Yours. There's no such thing as a life that's better than yours. I think when you start to realize that and you know your worth, that's when you could just walk away from social media and be like, I don't need it. I know my worth.
Exactly. Like you can be one with yourself. And that's another reason why I'm trying to like not depend on anybody for like, oh, can I get a hug today? I here's my thing. I'm trying to stay in this single life right now. I'm trying to be one by myself because I'm a lover girl, and I'm always yearning for like love and affection. And I think what I'm learning is that being by myself solidifies my mindset of an individual. I don't have to, always feel the need to want somebody in my space. I don't have to feel the need to always want to like, socially progress at this, at the quickness of my peers. Like I don't have to always, I don't know. My biggest thing right now is patience, and I'm being patient with myself. I'm even giving social media grace. I'm congratulating my friends, and I'm also, putting love on the back burner so I can focus in on myself, because I'm the one. Nobody is racing anybody.
No.
Nobody's racing anybody. And I'm just trying to get to the end of my race at the time that God gives me. So patience. I'm glad you said that song too. Like I guess you're putting a lot of gems in today.
Yeah. It's important because I believe, I mean, you're on Broadway. I'm not going to compare myself to, you've done so many incredible major things, but I mean, I kind of understand it from the standpoint of, whereas on social circles, that when you're a public figure in any way, it's a lonely life. So I can only imagine you probably have your close friends on one hand, and then your family members. That's pretty much what you're dealing with. You got to keep small circles. And when you look at everyone in Hollywood, they're all pretty much miserable, unfortunately, but their escape is their craft. So, but when they're not doing that, they're miserable, and you don't see too many celebrities hanging out with a lot of each other.
Yeah, that's why you gotta like early, like before you even find fame, you gotta like find the things that make you happy outside of your job and outside of people. I know I would cry, God forbid, but like if my mom left, like that is my right hand. My mother is that person for me because I'm the only child, of course. And my grandmother is, my father, my best friend who's also my manager, like my close circle, those are the people that that will keep me grounded long when I'm in the places that I need to be. And, just getting a nice, good circle of people, and getting a good hobby. Like I have a dream of mine is to be on a lake somewhere just painting.
Mm.
And I draw now, but like painting is like my one big thing. And I know that once I, get accolades and I get awards and all this other good stuff, I know that, what'll keep me calm is painting. Of course, my music will always be there and it'll always be the thing that, keeps me going. But like you need other things to, fill your gas tank, which is why I picked up photography.
The camera, and this is important to the process because a lot of people, when you're natural on camera, you're great at what you do, such as yourself, Broadway music. Why is it so important to learn the behind the scenes to truly be great at your craft?
Oh, because you don't want nobody to run over you.
Mm.
You do not want people to run over you. When they see people who are green, they take advantage of that. There are people who will literally take advantage of nice people just because they don't know their business. And of course, if you get messed up once and you're able to get out of that, good job. But if you let it happen to you more than twice, and sometimes it happens, even if you are trying, you just have to learn your business and you have to get, get friendly with your business and learn about the ins and outs because you don't want people to take advantage of the one thing that you love, and then eventually if you get taken advantage of, you're not going to love it no more. You're not going
No.
to want to make music or put it out because at the end of the day, oh, somebody's going to do me wrong, and it's just going to be this continuous cycle, and you're going to feel so much regret towards it because of the business side when the thing that actually made you happy was the music. So you have to know it for your own good. And it's good to read books about it, like get people that you are, safe, you feel safe with, who know more about it than you to give you advice and insight about it. You have to know your business. And in this day and age, it will almost be like you're purposefully trying to trip if you don't know it. There are so many people who are going about their music careers independently because they don't want to get messed over by a label. So it's like it's better to know, and than to just allow someone to just take all your masters, or take more percentage of work that that you put forward first, you know what I mean? Or it's just good to know. It's never good to not be in the know, and taking it from somebody who has had a few ups and downs, in the beginning of her career. I think that it's a smart look to be smarter than your opponent, or to be just as smart.
Mhm. Walk me through this partner because you mentioned that everyone going independent now. Everyone's always saying, F the label pretty much nowadays. So what was it in order for you to get that trust with the partnership with Hillman Grad and Def Jam Records? But you also don't have that. I mean, you mentioned the Sony, you have the partnership that you signed with them, and CAA, of course, as well for Torrent. So what was it that you felt comfortable getting into all these deals? And do you feel as though that it's a little overhyped that you just have to find the right deal because everyone's just so scared to sign the major deal?
Yes, you need it depends. You either got to find the right deal or you go about it by yourself. Luckily I had people to guide me. I had lawyers, good lawyer, you know what I
Yeah, that's
mean?
good.
People to actually aid me and help me along. I know just as much about the business as the average Joe because I am learning right now,
Mhm.
reading my books, I'm getting acclimated, which is why I put people in place to help me figure out these things, like a lawyer, an accountant, my manager, all these people to help me like further along. So it made the relationships with these labels and these businesses easier for me to trust. It made it a little bit more easier because it's like, okay, well, these papers don't look as foul because a legit lawyer don't, is on my team and is on my side looking at it and you're like, okay, well, you can do this, you can account for this, you can take back from this, that, and the third, guiding me along the way. So as long as you got people in place and as long as you know it for yourself, then it's okay. It's like, bet on yourself. This whole business is a risk, regardless of anything. It is a risk. It is a risk. So it just depends on how you bet on yourself. It depends on how you play your poker.
Exactly, and you gotta be the one saying checkmate. You gotta in this industry, 100%. But you brought up your mother before. I know she's really close. You have a really close relationship, but she was the one that was playing music all around you. I heard Aretha Franklin, from all Marvin Gaye, Billy Joel,
How do you
even.
know all these things?
Yeah, I did my research.
Oh yeah, she was from Detroit,
Yeah.
and they didn't have a segregated radio, and she would just be around the house, just cleaning with Earth, Wind and Fire and Stevie Nicks and Billy Joel and and Elton John and all these people, Nina Simone and Ella Fitzgerald would be playing, and that's how I knew that it was time to clean in the morning. So
Yeah.
that's she inspired my musical taste. Everything that she put forth when I was a child is everything that I put out. Like my music now is really like a accumulation of a lot of genres, and when I get the ability and the stepping stone to actually put out the music that more music, oh, you'll see. Like it's like yes, I'm an R&B artist, but I feel like I'm an R&B artist who can differ in any type of genre, and I just can't wait for the moment to prove that. I can't wait for the moment to show my mom that like all of her influences are now embedded in her baby.
What would you say when looking at R&B? How can R&B be inspired by hip hop? What's the way? Because everyone always looks down on hip hop outside of the genre, outside of R&B. I would per se, if it's not an urban genre, it's kind of looked down upon. The older rock artists are like, no, we don't want you in the Hall of Fame. But hip hop is real influential with culture, fashion, music, everything that's trending today. So, what's something that R&B can really draw from hip hop?
What's something that R&B can draw from hip hop? I believe they all come from the same place, but I think they're drawing from each other. I
Mm.
think hip hop is boisterous and it's noisy and loud, and it makes an impact. And I believe R&B does the same things in its own way and its own musicality. And I believe that they both make an impact with the people who are pioneering it, and with the choices that the people who are in the genre make. I think the genre in itself is like a baby, and the parents, which are the people who create this baby, like the I guess the Jay-Z's and for the Jay-Z's for hip hop and the Beyoncé's for R&B.
R&B.
Like the genre is the baby. It depends on the people who are walking forth through the genre. And I think what I guess R&B could take from hip hop is really the same thing that hip hop can take from R&B.
R&B.
Is it's the power of the voice and the power that the artist puts forth into the community. I don't think it's just like I don't think it's oh yeah, well, R&B can learn from hip hop to never die, and hip hop can learn from R&B that I don't think it's that. I think it's the people, because we listen to the artist first, like with funk, and you listen to Jimi Hendrix and then you're like, oh yeah, that's funk, he's funk. Yeah, I hope that made sense.
Yeah, no, it did. No, it
Yeah,
did
that's
for sure.
basically how I feel. Like, everybody can learn from everybody, any genre, and I feel like it's fluid. Honestly, like it comes from the same place. R&B comes; they all come from blues. Like they all come from the same place. So
Yeah.
it's like they're like fraternal twins. It's really not. It's nothing that hip hop has done that R&B hasn't, and it's nothing that R&B hasn't done that hip hop hasn't. You know,
You're right.
it just depends on the artists that are moving the genres forward and what they do within that genre.
And they're synonymous with each other. I know R&B is in a great state. Hip hop is, it can be. It depends on what artist you ask for, in my opinion, because I think there's a couple. But then, hip hop is so different today from when you mentioned when Jay-Z started. It's so changed. Where R&B, we've removed ourselves from the auto tune and we're getting back to actually having soul vocalists like yourself.
Yeah, I think that everything is doing a complete turnaround, and it's coming back to I feel like all music is real music, but it's coming back to a point where, excuse me, artists are taking initiative in the fact that, you know, music feeds people. So I think people are being more cognizant of that. And I think that the complete turnaround in music today is, how can I heal someone? Because of like the state that we're all in, like I think that the world right now is in such a crazy place that we need these things to feed us and heal us and make us feel better. So it's like I feel like artists are like being more aware. Like I know Erica Badu, Summer Walker. I don't know if you've been watching her like her Instagram, but like her whole maternal journey is like I'm sure all of
I've
that.
heard about it.
Yeah, I feel like it's some way in her music now, and Janae Aiko, all these people who are taking the time to like heal throughout their music with whichever like genre. So it's like it's hard to say what's going on in hip hop right now, and it's hard to like right now be like, oh yeah, this is bad music, or this is this, or have a it's hard to have any type of judgment on it, because like that's exactly what, you know, I guess grandparents did with our parents' music. So it's hard to really say, because we don't know how the trajectory is going to go with this. It's just not something that we're, you know, adjusted to just yet. It's like these kids are getting a world-rounded view of music from different aspects. Like their mothers and their fathers are probably a little bit young, so they're probably getting, I don't know, like I don't know who would the parents of today be listening to? Who would the parents of today be listening to? Like who would the young parents be listening to?
Well, I'm 24, same age as you. So if their parents around our age, maybe some SoundCloud rappers. I'm hoping that they'd be listening to like 50 Cent when it comes to hip hop, because that's
Yeah,
50 Cent, Nelly, the Fabulous, that
yeah,
era of hip hop. I'm hoping that's
yeah.
what they would be showing their kids.
What I was listening to, a little bit of that is bound to come through with their music, and then we have to give praise to like they're gonna be doing it, and then it's something's gonna click, and then they're gonna take what they're doing right now and morph it into something crazier and fire. You know, it's okay to not understand what's going on in music right now, because you know that's just how it goes. I'm sure there's a lot of people who are not going to understand what I'm going to do with my music, and with, you know, with any artist. You know, there's going to be like, I don't know what's going on with this. You know, I'm only adjusted to drill or this, that, and third. But it's just mindedness of knowing that like, okay, there is a change going on, and this is beautiful. However, I feel about what I'm listening to, like it's just acknowledging change and acknowledging how beautiful like the world turns, and like it's like from dinosaurs
Mhm.
and now we're here, you know.
Exactly. I wanted to touch on with the AmpliFIND award when you won that in BET. I heard that you were getting more votes than 1,000 more of the artists that were there. How did that go?
It was a blessing. It was happening in a point in my life where I was wondering what was next and what was the next stepping stone. And it just like I be saying, like all of the things happen sometimes unexpectedly. It falls in your lap, and it fell in my lap. I was so blessed to even be a part of it. And I was posting on my Instagram, and people were constantly supporting me, and they were wanting me to win as well. So it was it was really fun. I remember that competition like it was yesterday. And the people who were also in the competition, they were top tier. Like it was as if I was going against it was as if I was going against myself, like just like they were really great people and great, even better singers and rappers. It was really fun. I think it was a blessing. And again, it falls in your lap at the time when you're down and you're like, dang, I need to answer God, and then God just says, here.
And
Yeah.
he gives it to you, and that inspires you to keep going forward. What's the next award? What's an award that you are really looking to achieve here that you're working towards? Is it could be any, from a songwriter, because you're big on the songwriter side of things.
Yes. I'm looking for all the awards, God grants, but I would love me a Grammy.
A
I would love
Grammy.
a, a couple nice thick Grammys. I would love me a Brit. I love me those awards look really pretty. An Oscar,
An
like maybe for
Oscar.
music, you know, composition, that's something that I would love. Any of the awards, anything that I can put on my shelf and show my kids, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, my mama got that award." So yeah.
Yeah, and that would be big, and I could see that happening. But I was looking at your work on IMDb. I saw that you have a couple things like MacGyver that you did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just sang the national anthem.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. A couple things. Of course, I was a voice actress for uh Princess Nella and the wait, golly. Oh well, for Pinkalicious, a kid show on PBS, and Princess Nella and the something night. I forget it. But I did a lot of voice acting work when I was on Broadway, and I got to write a song for Olay for their
I did
first
see that.
film. Yeah, I was able to do that as well. So anything any award that fits in the category that they want to give me, I'm happy, whether that be for writing, whether that be for my singing abilities. I would anything that I can show my kids. Like I right now, anything, like any stepping stone that I do, I the levels that I go up, I was like, okay, well, I could tell my kids that I went on tour. I could tell my kids that I was on Broadway. So like, I guess what am I trying to say? I like the way that I count my success is by what I can tell my kids in the future. So yeah, any award that I see, that goes with what I'm doing right now, whether that be writing or singing, I'm all for any accolades.
Mhm. You've spoken about it in the past, not being a nepotism baby, of course. Do you feel as though that the talent and hard work can overrule if you're a nepotism baby? Do you think that you can overcome that in this industry?
Um, yeah,
Mhm.
I do believe that. I wouldn't know, my mother worked for So So Def and LaFace Records, when she was young. But
JD and B Cox.
yeah, I was able to work with them, but it wasn't off the strength of my mother. It happened from, which I wish, like, maybe stuff would have been rolling in
It would have
quicker
been
if
easier.
that was the connection. But no, that was through my own doing. And she's proud of me for that. And I wouldn't know. Like I don't consider myself to be a nepo baby, I guess,
Yeah.
but some people benefit off that, and I don't know if I can answer that because I haven't experienced that, or what I've seen. From what I've seen, I don't even know. Like, people get by with that, but I wouldn't know how to answer that. Because I'm not in their shoes, or I haven't experienced that at all. I would hope that they're getting by, by the strength of themselves, and once their parents put them in a position, to soar, that they do it. They do it what they do with what they have after that. But by all means, if God puts you in that position and you're able to get by like that, I'm happy. More power to you. I wish.
It means more. It means more to the story and the grind and the true hustle when you come up in the industry organically, such as yourself. When you don't have any ties, it means more.
Yes, but a story is a story. I think Jaden Smith's music is really good,
Mm.
and Willow Smith's music is really great as well. So it's a yeah, and the story might be like, oh yeah, she got it out of the mud, this and the third. But then again, like music is music, and if it's really good, whether your mama had the millions or not, hey, more power to you.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, where are you looking to take this acting thing next? Do you have some more stuff lined up in the future here as far as acting?
I have some things where I am making music for
Okay,
acting.
yeah.
A lot of songs placed on a lot of shows. So uh, I haven't gotten back into my acting bag in a while because of the fact that I've been working so heavily with music.
Music.
So, but I am signed to CAA. So it's like, whenever I really want to get back into that. But right now I'm really focused on music.
Are you going to be going on your own tour here for Southern Delicacy?
Soon,
Soon.
but I gotta get some things aligned first. Gotta form a couple things here in Georgia, and then you know that's all I'll say.
We got the new album here. Summer's right around the corner. Are you going to be dropping a summer anthem along with this, or are you going to let the album ride out?
I gotta be hush mouth.
You got to be hush mouth for
I
that.
gotta be hush mouth for that. I gotta be hush mouth for that. I'll just say stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Jai'Len, I want to thank you for coming on the show here tonight. I had a great time speaking with you and just getting to know you and your story, because you've accomplished so much, being on Broadway at such a young age, and accomplishments in songwriting with Ari Lennox, and just learning the whole songwriter's process, because even just learning about it's crazy. You really don't understand what songwriters go. I heard 30 minutes you had to be in and out when writing for her. So it's like you're timed, which is unbelievable. But
Thank you so much for having me.
yeah.
I'm so honored, and I found out that you were same age as me, so we're both making strides alongside of each other. So I'm just proud of you as you are as me.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Jai'Len. And I have your album in the rotation, and we'll be
Thank
going on
you.
from here. I look forward to having you back on the show, and just the next time that we meet here on the show. Yeah.
Please, I would love to be on your show. Please, please,
I
please. I
appreciate it.
enjoy myself.
I appreciate it. It's an open platform for artists. You to speak however you feel, and there's no politics here. Just say how you feel. Be yourself. You know what I mean?
I felt like I was myself.
Yeah.
I sometimes, I sometimes I guess my people say that my accent gets in front of my words, or like a stutter a little bit. So I'm just thankful that you took me as I was. I came as I am, and you didn't laugh at me or nothing. You just made me feel like I was at home.
I appreciate that, Jai'Len, of course. And congratulations on everything. As I said before, I'm looking forward to the tour and everything you have coming your way in the near future.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
And let them know where they can follow you on Instagram and Twitter, plug all the socials and all that.
Yes. So again, my name is Jai'Len Josey. That's JAI apostrophe capital LENJOSEY. It's not a lot when you really think about it. You can find me on all social media platforms if you just type in that name, Jai'Len Josey. All music platforms, all streaming platforms, type in Jai'Len Josey or Southern Delicacy, and you'll find everything you need to see. Please, please, please stream my music, and please follow me, because I love to follow back.
And that's important in this industry, building the connections and being a loyal, real one, and not out here where you just think you're bigger than everyone. That's important. That's something that a lot of people do. Jai'Len, thank you again. Shout out to Taryn for setting us up and reconnecting us as the whole
Yeah.
Wi-Fi thing shut down earlier. So
Yeah, that's my girl. That's my girl. Thank you so much
exactly.
for having me.
All right, Jai'Len. Anytime. Take care. Stay safe, and
Have
good
a
luck with
blessed one.
everything. See you soon.
You too.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.